Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this one I wanted to tell you about a bulletproof way I use in order to recognize envious types, envious spirit. Now before I get into it, I just wanted to stress the importance of getting rid of envious friends ASAP. You guys, even if all they did for now is just take subtle jabs at you, make sure you get rid of them immediately, okay? Because Oprah Winfrey said it best: you cannot be friends with someone who wants your life, okay ladies? Remember that an envious friend is a dangerous enemy, okay? So how to actually recognize them so that you can stay away from them. Now I use this method to vet my friends in general and envious friends in particular, and I don't understand how there can be so many videos on YouTube about how to vet men, hundreds of thousands really, and not as much about how to vet friends, because I believe that it is just as important to vet the women that you are going to let into your life as it is to vet the men that you're going to let into your life. So what you want to do is, after you've seen this person around 10 times, now for me, I'm not even going to consider you for friendship if I haven't met you at least 10 times, okay? You want to bring up envy, okay? Now you're always going to find stories of envy on Instagram, on TikTok. There's also this story about this young girl, I believe her name was Shanquella Robinson, something like that. Very tragic story, a girl whose friend plot and plan in order to commit the capital sin against her, and they actually succeeded. So you want to say something along the line of, oh, I just watched a documentary about the Shanquella Robinson story, so tragic, and then you want to listen. And be very careful here, because what I've noticed that envious types, envious spirit tend to do is they tend to deny the very existence of envy, okay, which we know is bull, because envy is a normal human emotion, okay? We all feel it. Now I'm talking about an envious thought, okay? I'm talking about seeing someone have something and thinking it would be nice to have that. I also want to say here that envy is not only for material things. I tend to see that sometimes when people deny the existence of envy, they think that envy only applies to material things. So they say, oh, I'm not envious, because they mean they never envy something material that someone else have. But envy is not only about material, okay? Someone can be envious of the fact that you have a partner and they don't, of the fact that you have kids and they don't. They can be envious of the fact that your children are well behaves and perhaps theirs are not. Someone can be envious of your hair, of the way you pray. Hell, I've seen people be envious of the fact that people don't look like what they've been through. I've been through that. I had this friend, I talked about it on this channel, who was always mad that I'm always laughing and always happy and always positive, because I've had quite a traumatic life and a traumatic childhood, and some people are going to be mad that you don't look like what you've been through, okay? So this is how deep envy can be. But envy is also, like I was saying, a normal human emotion, right? You can see it in toddlers, for example. Toddlers 1.5 years old who have a sibling tend to try to harm the baby in some way, shape or form, right? This is something that even gynecologists warn new mothers about, not to leave them, not to leave the baby unattended with its sibling if it's a toddler, because they understand that chances are the toddler is going to try to harm the baby, because they used to have their mom's undivided attention and now they have to share their mom's attention with the baby. So I have met numerous adults who told me how their sister almost harmed them for good, how their brother almost harmed them for good, because obviously the child, the toddler in this instance, doesn't understand that harming the baby is going to be permanent, right? They think that in their childish mind, right? The Bible say, when I was a child, I thought like a child, I acted like a child, right? And I spoke like a child. So in their childish mind, they just think that if they get the baby to be quiet, then the mom is not going to pick them up and give them all this attention, and then all their mom's attention is going to come back to them like it used to be. And again, a toddler doesn't do this because they hate the newborn sibling or the newborn brother or sister, because a lot of toddlers are actually excited when their mom is pregnant, right? We see that they like to talk to the belly and caress it and stuff like that, but they have not anticipated at that time, again, because they have such a childish mind that once the baby come, they are going to lose a lot of their mom's attention, at least for a time being, because of course a baby needs way more attention than 3 years old, for example. But by the time the baby grows a little, normally good moms will try to recalibrate and give both children, both toddlers, then the same amount of attention, right? So this I'm using this to drive my point across that envy, it's a normal human emotion. You know, it's one of the first story in the good book, you know, is the story of Joseph and his brothers, or the story of Cain and Abel. Both are stories, you know, of envy. So envy is as old as the beginning of time, and I believe it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So all we can do is really try to separate ourselves from, you know, envious type and stay away from them. So, and what do I mean by people who deny the very existence of envy? So these are people who are going to be like, yeah, I don't understand envious people. How can you be envious of someone? Like, I never felt envy. Or my personal favorite, when they go like, you know, I don't envy anyone because I don't know what they did in order to get what they have. I'm sorry if you click on this video and you're someone who says stuff like that, but you're a hater. Okay, because why would you even waste so much of your mind energy, right, to even think about, oh yeah, this person has this, but they probably have it because they did this and they did that and they did the third. Like, I'm sorry, but this is the hater thinking. Like, why would you even go that far? For me, when I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see someone have something, I'm like, this is nice, and then I'm going about my way. You know, I'm not trying to think, oh yeah, but does their income allow for them to buy this? I'm sorry, but if you're doing all of this math in your mind, then, you know, you're a hater in some way, shape or form. I'm really sorry, but this is my genuine opinion. Like, I remember a time where someone who I was considering for friendship said something like that. So she said she went on Instagram and she counted all of the Chanel bag that an influencer had, and it came to, I think it was 200,000. I'm not so sure, it could be even more. I didn't listen, you know, or I don't remember the exact quotation that she came up with. And she said that she doesn't believe that, you know, sponsorship could pay that much, and she doesn't and I was, you know, I didn't really say much. I just said you know, I made a mental note of that. And but I was thinking, like, who even cares? Like, why are you even, you know, going through all of this? Like, this is, honestly, it's giving mental. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, like, it's giving mental. Because why would you do all of that? Like, that's a lot, you know. Like, or, you know, I saw this Snapchat story where one Snapchatter was talking about the other Snapchatter, saying, you know, all of the jewelry she was wearing wasn't real, it wasn't gold, that the watch was fake. And I'm just thinking, oh my lord, you know, like, the energy you guys expend on people you don't even like, it's giving mental. Okay, so, but anyway, my point here is, if you're dealing with someone who denies the very existence of envy in any way, shape or form, run. Okay, you want to run in the opposite direction, because these are people who I believe are very high on what I call the envy barometer. Now, the envy barometer is something that I came up with. So at the very bottom of the barometer, you have like people who like, oh yeah, it would be nice to have that, you know, again, normal, regular, you know, we've all been there, we've all done that. This is an envious thought, and you know, it is what it is, right? But as people go up on the barometer, you have people who are like, yeah, I don't understand why she has a man and I don't, because I'm prettier than her. Now, baby, once you catch yourself saying stuff like that, or once you're dealing with someone who says stuff like that, run for your life. Run, hunt, because they're about to put you through something. Because these are the people who are going to do, you know, or who could possibly do, you know, something in order to take that away from you. Or, you know, if they can't take that away from you, they're going to make sure that you don't have it. You know, these are type of people are like, you know, if I can't have it, you can't have it either. So you really want to stay away from this type of people. Now, because I want to be fair, I'm also going to say that some people or some women are just not very self-aware. Right, so perhaps, you know, they really don't feel like they've ever experienced envy, but in my opinion, these are still women you shouldn't befriend, because these are women who are not very self-aware, and people who are not very self-aware are a nightmare to be in any type of relationship with. Because if you have any grievances, which you will, you know, in any long-term relationship, there are going to be complaints and problems. You know, these people are not going to be able to take any type of responsibility, they are not going to be able to take any type of accountability, and it's just going to be a lot, a whole lot. So for me personally, I also, you know, whether this person is saying that, you know, they don't believe envy exists because, you know, they're trying to con me, you know, out of just seeing them as someone who, you know, is inoffensive, or whether they're saying this because they are not self-aware enough to see that they experience and feel envy, either way, I don't want this woman in my life, because, you know, I believe that nothing good can come from associating with them. Another thing about envious types is that they are gossips. Okay, so if someone is always telling you about how so-and-so husband is cheating, how so-and-so's child has ADD and they are performing poorly in school, you want to pause. Okay, and here I wanted to caution you ladies against a mistake that I made a lot in my early 20s, and is that not knowing that a dog that brings a bone carries a bone. Okay, a dog that brings a bone carries a bone. Okay, back then I had someone who was very close to me, you know, and she would always tell me other people's business, and she would always tell me, yeah, you know, I'm only telling you this because you're my best friend, you know, but I would never tell your business to any of these people, baby. Okay, lo and behold, she was out there telling my business to everybody and their mama. Okay, so please do not believe it. Okay, if someone comes and tell you someone else's business, be zip mute about yours, because if you tell it to them, they are gonna go and tell it, you know, either to that person or different people instead. Okay, because gossipers gossip, right? That's what they do. So I've noticed this about them. I also noticed that, you know, when they can't find any gossip about you, they are going to make things up. Now I'm going to talk about this friend that I had in my early 20s, you know, the one who would always tell me everyone's business. I noticed this about her. Back in the days, we were very close, you know, we were very neat, tight, and we would always go to birthday parties together, we would go to barbecues together, right? And every time that a woman showed up, and she looked absolutely fantastic, she looked phenomenal. Well, first of all, she will always find something that she doesn't like about the hair or the outfit, okay, or the jewelry or the nail polish, like the smallest thing, the most ridiculous thing, she will always find something, you know. Oh, you know, that hairstyle didn't look good on her, it made her face look long, or it made her face look wide, or, you know, I would have chosen silver jewelry instead of gold jewelry, or, you know, the nail polish didn't match, you know, the outfit, or, you know, she will always find something. Even when the women ate down, okay, you know, when they look good, she will always find something, anything, right? So that was the first thing. And then what she would do the next day, she would call everybody who was at that barbecue, at that birthday party, and, you know, try to find out if they know anything about this woman, right? She would ask, who is that person who was wearing, you know, the yellow top? And then she would try and, you know, get these women to talk, you know, shit basically about that girl. And if she couldn't find anything, she would make things up, you know. So sometimes she would call me and she would tell me so ridiculous stories, like stories that are so big where I was like, yeah, ain't no way, okay, like ain't no way, like you're making this up, right? Because it was just not believable, right? So be very, very mindful of, you know, women who love to critique other women, especially women who look good, because this wasn't a thing that she only did in birthday parties and barbecues. This is something that, you know, she had a habit of doing even when we were walking down the street, and a woman just walking confident, you know, holding herself in a confident manner, you know, looking really nice. She would always, you know, nitpick, you know, I don't like the ring she's wearing, it's too big, the earrings are too long, you know. She would do this in restaurants with couples, you know, why is the man shorter than her? And she would always find something, you know, something, anything to nitpick at, to talk about, because I believe, you know, she was very insecure. And, you know, that's the thing with, you know, envious type people who have a very envious spirit at their core, you know, not just people who, again, see someone have something and be like, it would be nice to have that too. You know, when people go, you know, higher than that, usually these are people who are very insecure, and then when they meet, you know, I'm talking about women now, a woman that they deem as more attractive than themselves because their own insecurity, they have to find a way to pull that woman down, because, you know, they feel like that woman is higher than them. So be very mindful of this, you know, don't sleep on it. And of course, I'm not talking about water cooler gossip here, you know, we're all guilty of that, which would be like, you know, discussing the fictional characters of a show with a friend. Okay, only before yesterday I was discussing with my friend about Mercedes from P-Valley, which y'all didn't tell me about. Okay, shame on y'all. That show came out before the pandemic and don't nobody told me. Okay, baby. And Mercedes' body is tea, you guys. That woman body had me running at the gym. Okay, auntie. So yeah, that could be, you know, water cooler gossip. I'm talking about, you know, character assassination. You know, there's a reason why they call gossiping that, you know, because gossiping is a form of murder. Someone is literally trying to assassinate your character. So don't sleep. Okay, anyways, you guys, that's all I had for this one. Please look out for these two signs, because if you're dealing with someone who exhibits this trait, you are dealing with someone who could potentially be dangerous for you, someone who could potentially exercise the capital sin against you. So do not play. Okay, if you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know, you know, what are your envious stories. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and I will talk to you guys soon, and very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye guys. Mwah.